Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use the offhand in Minecraft Bedrock Edition and how to put any item in your offhand in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So if you like Minecraft videos like this one, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft tutorials in the future. Now I am currently in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and as you can see I have some redstone in my main hand and blocks of gold in my offhand. And so, as you might know, usually you're not able to put every single different item inside of your offhand in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, unlike in Java Edition where you can put pretty much any item in your offhand. Sadly for now, this parity is just not there, and we will have to wait until the full offhand functionality comes over to Bedrock Edition. But in the meantime, we do have a few items we can put in our offhand, so let's go over those first, and then afterwards I'll show you how to put any other item in your offhand. And so I've made a video on this before, but putting any item in your offhand has become significantly easier, and you don't need external tools to do this anymore. But first, let's go over all the items you can put in your offhand normally. And so the first of these is, of course, the shield. You can put this shield in your offhand, and if you crouch, it automatically blocks all attacks coming in from the front. And so this is what it then looks like. You have your sword in your main hand and your shield in your offhand, and you can block just like this, and then attack with your sword. And of course, when you block with your shield, this takes away durability from the shield as well, as you can see here. Next, you can also put any type of arrow inside of your offhand, so that's all the regular arrows, but also of course any type of tipped arrow you can put in your offhand. And what it means to put these arrows in your offhand is that it always prioritizes these types of arrows over any other type of arrows in your inventory. And so since I have regular arrows, harming arrows and decay arrows in my inventory, but the regular arrows in my offhand, if I now shoot this bow, it will use regular arrows. But if I then switch out the regular arrows for harming arrows, then instead of normal arrows, it will always shoot out the harming arrows, as you can see there, by the particle effect. And finally, if I replace these with the decay arrows and then shoot the bow, then indeed we will have the decay particle effects coming out of that tipped arrow right there. Then something similar can be done with firework rockets. You can put firework rockets in your offhand and then of course load them up in your crossbow, just like this, and shoot over those firework rockets. Now here I just have regular firework rockets in my offhand without any special patterns, and so if I shoot it, indeed it just moves off and leaves a trail. But if I switch these firework rockets for ones that have a small red ball and put those in my offhand instead, you will see that indeed now we're using those different firework rockets and they explode into a red ball just like that, which looks both very festive and also very destructive right there. And so sadly the firework rockets are only usable in conjunction with the crossbow. So if you want to ignite some firework rockets, sadly you cannot do that while they are in your offhand. There's no way to use the item while it's in your offhand. You have to place it back into your main hand before you can actually ignite the fireworks and explode them just like usual. Then the next offhand item is the totem of undying. If this item is in your offhand and you were about to die, instead you won't die and get some nice effects. So here is what that looks like. We go into survival mode, we fall, and instead of dying, we get this effect. And we get absorption 2, fire resistance, and regeneration 2, which will hopefully keep us alive for a little bit longer. This does consume the totem of undying though, so that is now gone. Then you can also put any type of filled map inside of your offhand. So that can be regular maps, locator maps, or Ocean Explorer maps, or Woodland Explorer maps. Of course, these last two you can obtain by trading with a cartographer. And so what this looks like in first person is something like this. You have your map on the left there in your offhand showing the map. This is a regular map. If you use a locator map, you can also see where we are at this point in time with that little arrow. And this can be really useful if you're exploring and you want to have a map of the world by your side. And also, of course, if you want to find either a woodland mansion or an ocean monument, then using one of these in your offhand is always the best way to go. So we can see that if we want to go over to our woodland mansion, we would have to travel in this direction. But instead, if we wanted to go to this ocean monument, then we would have to also go in this direction. Nice. Both are in the same direction, but probably quite far away. And then a final item that can be placed in the offhand normally is the Nless Shell, which can be obtained through fishing, trading, or by killing drowned, because in Bedrock Edition 8% of drowned will have a Nless Shell in their offhand, which will always drop if they die. And of course Nless Shells are used to create conduits. And so many people believe that because the Nless Shell generates in the offhand for drowned, they also added this feature for players that they can put this Nless Shell in their offhand because it doesn't have any other feature except for just being able to be placed there. And so that's currently all of the different items that can be placed in the offhand in Minecraft Bedrock Edition in 1.20. But there is now a new way to place any type of item in your offhand. And so that's done by using the following command. So first you'll need to activate cheats and then type in the following. Replace item, you will see this replace item command. If you don't see this command, then either you don't have cheats enabled or you don't have enough permissions on your world. But otherwise, replace item space entity. Like this. Then next you will type in the entity. So this is the player that you want to give an item in their offhand. So in this case we'll just do ourselves, which is at s, like this. And then next we'll do slot.weapon offhand, just like this. And this will place the item in our offhand. We can just put a 0 afterwards. And now we can choose from any item in the game, any block, any item, anything we want. So let's say we do, for example, a trident. So we can also specify an amount afterwards. But of course, tridents are an unstackable item, and so we'll only have one. So this is fine. Press enter, and we have a trident in our offhand now. Indeed, if we check our inventory, there's a trident right there. And so now we can actually dual wield tridents and swords. But of course, this won't be able to do anything. And also, it looks a little bit strange in first person because Bedrock Edition is not used to having these kinds of items in your offhand. So none of the items in the offhand can actually be used except for the ones I already showed you earlier on in this video. It's just for looks and looks nice if you hold both of them at the same time. And so you can do this pretty much with any item in the game. So let's also try torches, for example. We can put 64 torches in our offhand just like this. And there they are. This actually looks quite nice in first person, but again, it won't do anything. You aren't able to place down torches if they are in your offhand. Then one more odd thing, for some of these items you can place in your offhand, if you go into first person, they will actually appear not in the right place. We can spin around a bit and in the left of the screen you can see the diamond blocks are all the way up there for some reason. And so this definitely shows that this is not correctly implemented yet in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, but I hope they will implement the full offhand in Bedrock Edition in a future update. But anyway, there we go, that's how to put items in your offhand and how to use them as well. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe!